Right now, there's a nationwide shortage of school bus drivers. What Arizona schools are doing about it, coming up.
Plus, make it 25 for ASU women's basketball coach Charlie Turner-Thorne. We'll show you how her team is preparing for tip-off tonight.
And later, on Break It Down, a look at one generation that's bombarded by stereotypes.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Diana Quintero.
And I'm Sean DePaz. Thank you for joining us.
School districts nationwide are experiencing bus driver shortages. Here in Arizona, at least 11 school districts don't have enough drivers for their student populations. Cronkite News reporter Raven Payne tells us why that is and how administrations are trying to combat the shortage.
The Paradise Valley School District needs at least 37 bus drivers to drive this fleet of buses. Until then, they, like many other school districts, are changing schedules, remapping routes, and doing whatever they can to make sure they can get kids to school. School bus driver shortages are not new to districts, but there are fewer drivers in these seats because of the pandemic. According to Paradise Valley School District Director of Transportation, Brandon George, the pandemic caused unpredictability.
I think the pandemic and the uncertainties of what may or may not happen caused a lot of people to leave the industry.
PV school district drivers now have to take double or even triple shifts or work longer hours every day.
There's no time for breaks. I mean, I'm just steady running the whole time. In the afternoon, I leave at 1:30 or 1:45, and I don't shut the bus off till 5:15 or 5:30.
Now, according to the Director of Transportation for PV schools, there are only about 70 bus drivers for 28,000 students in the district, and they're working hard to fill these seats.
We are doing a lot of advertisement. We put these signs on the buses. We have 40 signs we purchased, 20 on sped buses, and 20 on transit buses. We also use social media. PV School District is also offering higher pay to attract more drivers.
What they're doing right now, they're giving us a $15 addenda, so it'll total to $75 a week, $300 a month.
With great retirement, 15 paid holidays off, and so much more, who wouldn't want to drive some kiddos around? Requirements to become a bus driver include a clear driving record of at least 5 years, proof of vaccination, and letters of recommendation. The Paradise Valley School District is also hiring for non-driving bus aides to assist special education students who ride the bus. In Paradise Valley, Raven Payne, Cronkite News.
If you've been to a restaurant or hotel recently, you may have noticed the help wanted signs. Nationally, unemployment is at 4.6%, and job growth is going up. But as Brenda Rivas found out, in Arizona, the numbers, while good, mean staffing shortages at many businesses.
According to the most recently available state employment report, Arizona saw the second largest unemployment decrease in the country. It went from 6.2% to 5.7%, making this the first time the unemployment rate has dropped below 6% since March 2020.
This is a good time to be an employee.
But a tough time to be a restaurant owner. Places like Pork on a Fork in Phoenix are struggling to find workers.
When I go out and eat, it's going to take an extra 30 minutes to get your food, and it's not to the fault of the restaurant, it's just a lack of the workforce out there.
Currently, the leisure and hospitality employment sector makes up a little over 10% of the total non-farm employment in Arizona. While restaurants have seen an increase in employment since last year, they are experiencing the after effects of the pandemic on staffing.
Some of the research indicates that some folks feel as though they're not treated with the amount of respect and appreciation to work in such a demanding industry.
Chukri also says employees don't want to work in an industry that might not be stable.
People were preferring to stay at home and get unemployment than going back into the workforce.
During the pandemic, many took the opportunity to go back to school or better themselves or even care for a loved one.
Things are still taking a little while to settle down. I think it'll be a little while before we see things kind of go back to the pre-pandemic settling.
Earlier this year, Governor Ducey rolled out a back-to-work initiative with the purpose of getting people into jobs.
It included things like childcare incentives, extra financial incentives. I think it was $1,000 plus to come back off the unemployment rolls into a job.
Restaurant owners are also implementing incentives to encourage employees to enter or come back to the workforce.
The biggest thing that we focus is on our current employees, treating them with respect, giving them the tools to succeed and advance, and really them bringing over people they know.
Like most restaurants, Justin started offering food delivery options through DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats as a way to get customers their food at home. The Arizona Office of Economic Opportunity will release their October jobs report on November 18th and are projecting Arizona's employment to increase to over 3.7 million jobs in 2030 from just over 3 million in 2020. At the Google touchscreen, Brenda Rivas, Cronkite News.
Online real estate marketplace Zillow announced it will stop buying and selling homes, bringing layoffs to its employees. After the break, we take a look at how the Phoenix market is impacted.
Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream. For the first time ever, our most popular programs have been selected just for you.
But there's so much more.
Whether you like to travel,
wow,
feast,
and calories don't count.
Look back.
That is me.
Discover.
And you know the whole story.
There's something for everyone.
Let's get to it right away.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
What you get from Washington Week that you will not get anywhere else are the best and the brightest reporters from different media companies, and they're able to have a real conversation about things that are happening in Washington and around the country. But it's also a show about issues that are relevant to different communities.
How do you think that...
As the moderator, I feel this deep responsibility to bring in those other perspectives so that people understand how power and politics impact their daily lives.
Friday nights at 7 on Arizona PBS.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Online real estate giant Zillow recently announced that it would stop buying and selling homes and start laying off employees. Cronkite News reporter Rudy Cavazos takes a look at how this impacts the Phoenix housing market.
Zillow says it plans to sell 7,000 homes, which is more than half of the homes it owns, for $2.8 billion. It seems high housing prices and a labor shortage is making it difficult to earn money flipping homes, but Zillow's loss may be good news for Phoenix home buyers. Phoenix is a hot housing market and houses are selling fast.
It's not even going to be on the market more than 3 or 4 days.
Which, according to real estate agent Jan Layden, can pose challenges for home buyers, such as bidding wars and getting priced out.
Cash is king, and they can afford to take the price up and beat a financed offer, because a financed offer has to have an appraisal. And that appraisal, if it doesn't come in, then the buyer has to have the cash to make up the shortfall.
A recent trend of instant buying or iBuying has had an impact on our market through companies such as Zillow, Opendoor, and OfferPad.
These are companies that try to buy your home as low as they can to sell it for as much as they can. That's their business model.
But Greg Haig, CEO of 72 Sold, a residential real estate company, says Zillow is the largest iBuying corporation in the Phoenix area. In late October, Zillow paused its iBuyer program, citing a supply shortage, and soon after reported financial losses for its Q3 earnings.
Their iBuying activity brought the market higher. It caused them to have to pay more too, which made it harder for them to turn those homes and make the profits they needed.
The company will also shut down its home buying business, Zillow Offers, and lay off 25% of its employees.
They're losing money overall.
But their loss could be a home buyer's gain. In fact, in Phoenix, Zillow is selling 93% of the homes they own for less than what it paid. And for future home sellers, Haig urges people to look at all available options before selling their home.
Find out what the highest paying retail buyer will pay before you take what looks to be the easy route, but could also be a very costly route.
Other top iBuying companies like Opendoor and Redfin are still buying homes in the Phoenix market. In fact, according to the Arizona Republic, iBuyers bought almost 1,000 homes in Arizona in August of this year, compared to just 150 homes in August 2020. In the newsroom, Rudy Cavazos, Cronkite News.
It's the perfect weather to go house hunting with temperatures in the 80s all week long. Bella Hoffman is in the Weather Center with more.
Well, those cloudy gray skies this morning had us feeling like we were cooling down. We're not quite there yet here in Arizona. As we take a look at the high temperatures throughout the state, you can see 84 in Phoenix and 86 in Yuma. Then up north, mix of 50s and 60s, but Sedona sitting at a nice happy medium at 72 degrees. As we look at the rest of the United States, you can definitely see why this is the time of year where everyone heads to Phoenix. Rest of the country is looking at 40s and 50s, but Phoenix is sitting at a nice 84 degrees. Looking at our evening planner for tonight, sunset is going to hit around 77 degrees, but as we look into the evening, 67 by 10 p.m. and a little bit of winds, which might make for a nice evening to sleep with the windows open and let that fresh breeze roll on in. Into the 8-day forecast, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in the 80s with an average high of 80, average low of 56. Thursday is going to be Veterans Day, so if you have any plans outdoors, it'll be a great day for that. Saturday and Sunday as well with the sunny skies, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, a little more clouds rolling in, maybe making us feel like we did this morning. In the Weather Center, Bella Hoffman, Cronkite News.
I'm Cam Dyer. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. We'll take you inside an ASU women's basketball practice to show you how they prepared for the season and what they're looking forward to.
Here we go, lights up. Whoa.
As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
What you get from Washington Week that you will not get anywhere else are the best and the brightest reporters from different media companies, and they're able to have a real conversation about things that are happening in Washington and around the country. But it's also a show about issues that are relevant to different communities.
How do you think that...
As the moderator, I feel this deep responsibility to bring in those other perspectives so that people understand how power and politics impact their daily lives.
Friday nights at 7 on Arizona PBS.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Your favorite member benefit is getting better and bigger.
This is wonderful.
Over the next year, Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream.
They give us all that they've got.
From your favorite cooking and travel series.
Even the stairs are breathtaking.
To history specials and award-winning documentaries. Better and bigger.
That really is the fun part.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Cam Dyer with your Cronkite Sports Report. The Suns are officially on fire, defeating the Sacramento Kings 109-104 for their fifth straight win last night. The Suns cracked open a 22-point lead in the third quarter, but the Kings were not done yet. With 2 minutes remaining in the fourth, Sacramento cut the lead from 18 points down to just 5. Just when it looked like the Suns might have a late-game collapse, Devin Booker re-entered and took over, helping the Suns get the win. Devin believes the team needs to be more consistent in closing out games.
You can take your lessons in a win, but we have to learn how to just put teams away. We've had multiple opportunities this year to step on teams and get the game over with, and have failed to do so. So, that's a point of emphasis for us moving forward.
There's more success in Arizona sports as the Redbirds regained control of the top seed in the NFC heading into Week 10. In spite of the injuries to key players such as QB Kyler Murray and receiver DeAndre Hopkins, the Cards dominated division rival San Francisco. Coach Cliff Kingsbury spoke about persevering through those injuries.
You look around the league and everybody's dealing with it. It's kind of a battle of attrition once you hit the second part of the season, and what you got is what you got, and you just got to find a way. And that's been our approach. That's how we talk in those terms as a staff, and our guys have responded to it.
Another season is about to tip off as ASU men's and women's basketball teams compete tonight at Desert Financial Arena in a doubleheader. The men's team will face Portland, and the women will take on Northern Colorado. Cronkite News reporter Amanda Shear has a preview of the women's team.
Charlie Turner Thorne enters her 25th season at the helm for the Sun Devils, and after finishing 500 last year, the winningest coach in ASU women's basketball history wants to get back into the win column.
I think we just have a group that loves the game, real committed to each other, and to, being back to where our programs used to be, which is a championship caliber team.
The Sun Devils lost 5 players from last year's squad, but returned their top 2 scorers, Taya Hansen and Jaden Simmons. Simmons says the team has a lot of offensive weapons.
They're going to have to guard everybody. They're not just going to have to worry about a couple people, and I think that's really going to be the hardest thing for the teams.
The team is also excited to have fans back in the stands to support them.
I missed that so much last year. I mean, the fans bring so much energy and passion to the game.
A return of fans in the stands will hopefully help Coach Turner Thorne's squad make a return to the postseason.
I feel really good about this group. I think we're, back to the level that we are used to being at and are going to, compete for a Pac-12 championship.
In Tempe, Amanda Shear, Cronkite News.
Across the valley, GCU has found success in their women's soccer team, who made team history on Sunday. The GCU women's soccer team is going dancing for the first time in program history. The Lopes have had a historic run. They won on Sunday to earn their first WAC tournament title and first NCAA Division I tournament berth. It has been quite the turnaround from last season when they started 1-7. They'll be heading to SoCal to take on USC this Saturday. And that's a wrap on today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Sean and Diana.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight.
Thanks for joining us.
Next on Break It Down, we compare millennials to other generations and look at the stereotypes that surround them.